Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Retro Yugioh, and in today's video, we're going to show you some Infernobleknight combos. The deck rose to a little bit of popularity, with YCS taking it to top 4 of YCS Richmond. And unlike many of you guys watching, you're not the most knowledgeable about when it comes to the combo lines, so I'm going to pass you guys over to someone who knows the deck a little bit better than I do.
Hi, I'm Simon. I'm going to teach you how to do a one-card Infernoble combo using Connector. This is going to end on the link 1 Charles, Angel Ring, Gearfried, a pop during the battle phase with Ra 10, and Roll and Engrave for another pop with Charles. Let's get into it. Alright, this is going to take place in the hypothetical land of Uninterrupted. We're going to start by normal summoning Neospace Connector and use the effect to special summon Neospatial Aqua Dolphin from deck. If you'd like, here's where you pitch one to rip the Droll out of your hand, but let's just suppose we don't and we go straight into Assault. Assault on Summon is going to add you a random card, typically go for a second copy of Connector, but you can really go for anything. Straight off, we're going to send 4. Divine Sword, Angel Ring, Droll, and Yugioh. Straight to the grave to special summon Yugioh from our deck. Yugioh on Summon is going to send to grave Turpin. And from here, we're going to use the effect of Phoenix Blade Engrave, banishing Connector and Dolphin to add back to hand. We're then going to equip Phoenix Blade to Yugioh and use the effect of Turpin Engrave because we control an equipped monster to special summon him but banish him and leaves the field. We're just going to get ignored because we'll use him for an XC summon of Artorias, King of the Noble Knights. And we're going to use his effect on summon to equip up to 3 Noble Arms cards from grave. We're going to go for Droll and Yugioh. We're going to use the effect of Droll to search ourselves a copy of Yugioh from our deck. And then link 2 or 3 in whichever you'd like. Another copy of Isold or Ferocious Flame Swordsman. I go for Ra 10. This will trigger Yugioh Engrave because the card was equipped to was sent to grave to special summon Yugioh. And Yugioh is going to trigger targeting a level 4 lower Fire Warrior in our grave. Yugioh to special summon him back to the field. From here, it's pretty Spog standard. You go 5 into Angelica. Angelica on summon is going to grab the field spell. We're then going to banish Assault and Artorias to add Phoenix Blade back to hand and equip Phoenix Blade to Angelica, triggering her effect because she was targeted to banish herself. Send from deck to graveyard a Fire Warrior and special summon Roland from our extra deck. From here, we're going to activate the field spell and use the effect paying 12 to add Infernoble Arms All Mace from our deck to hand. Then we're going to use the second effect of Turpin to equip to Roland and make him a tuner, which doesn't matter. The second effect of the Museum, because the first effect was activated, to special summon Turpin out. Then go for a Synchro 9 into the OG Infernobleknight Emperor Charles. And use the effect of Roll and Engrave to equip to Charles, and then immediately link him away for the link 1 Charles the Great, who on summon target Charles Engrave and equip him to himself. Fuck that one up. Cool. Go back. We're going to equip All Mace to Roland and then synchro it off into Charles, which will be Chainlink 1 All Mace to add back the Gearfried from our grave, and then we're going to equip it with Roland to link it off with link 1, target, equip. From here, we're going to go ahead and banish the All Mace to special summon Gearfried. We're going to equip Yugioh to Charles, and during end phase, Charles is going to copy Charles, equipping Angel's Ring here. Malgus from deck, and use the effect to pop Malgus, Shuffle back 3. Probably the quick spells I better call. Any 3 to draw a card.
One random card?
Yeah. Best case scenario, Ash Blossom.
Okay, so what do we have here?
So here you got a spell trap card negate. Sending one of these from deck to grave. From field to grave. Typically go for Yugioh here. Additionally, due to Angelica's Angel Ring, the first spell effect your opponent activates that resolves, so without being negated, will be negated either way. That includes Super Polymerization and Dark Ruler, so that's pretty good. Gearfried can negate and destroy a monster effect. Send one of these. At the start of the battle phase, Rot 10 is going to destroy a card. And during the main phase, Roland can equip to any of your monsters to get 500 attack, but the important thing is that it will trigger Charles to pop a card your opponent controls, which typically shotgun that for a normal summon, and you're doing pretty good.
So altogether about 4 interruptions or 5?
4 interruptions off of that card, yeah.
And you still have 5 cards in hand? Because
And you still have 4 to 5 cards in hand.
Okay, so that was combo 1.
That's combo 1. Next up is we're going to play around Nibiru. They're going to start by normally summoning Yugioh and use the effect to send from deck to grave the Gearfried. Wherever he is, there he is. And our plan is to get him out before our 5th summon. So we're going to activate Museum and use the effect paying 12 to add an equip spell. In this case, we're going to go for Droll, equip to Yugioh, use the effect, and grab Renaud. Renaud's going to special summon himself and grab back Gearfried, and we're then going to go straight for a 4th summon into Angelica, which is going to grab another copy of the field spell. We're going to use the field spell over the field spell, pay another 12, and we're going to grab Almace. Wherever he's there. Now, from here, we're going to... That was 3, 4. So we're going to equip Yugioh to Angelica, not trigger the effect, but use the second effect of Museum to special summon him out. We're going to equip it with Almace. Now we're on our 4th summon, and we're going to banish the Droll Engrave to special summon Gearfried out. And we're then going to trigger Almace, targeting Gearfried to equip him with Joyeuse from our deck. Now, from here, we're going to go into Assault. This sends one for Ricargetto, and Ricargetto on summon is going to grab ourselves our Yugioh, and from here the combo is as usual into Angelica, so over and so forth. So
the end board here would be...
The end board here would be...
Just show it like you can put it on field if you want.
Would be a Charles, and depending on how you play it from here, so if you play a second Angelica, you can get a Baron on field by abusing the second Noble Arms Museum, and if you are running Camelot Realm of the Noble Arms, you can get a 3rd activation out of the field spell by searching that instead along the way, and it could end you on, I think, a Little Knight in addition.
Okay.
The main goal here is to play through Nibiru with getting Gearfried on board before the 5th summon, or on the 5th summon. So this combo is through Droll, which is really only needed if you don't open Connector. If you don't open Connector, you gotta hope for these 2, in which case you always lead with the Museum to see if Droll's coming out. So I'm gonna activate the effect, searching for Infernoble Arms Almace, and here's typically where you get Droll. From here, we're operating under the understanding that we are under Droll, and cannot get up. So we're gonna normal summon Infernobleknight Yugioh and use the effect to send a Fire Warrior from our deck to our grave. We're gonna send Turpin, very classic, and we're gonna equip All Mace. And use Turpin's effect in grave to special summon him, and we're then gonna link him off into Sold.
If you want to have fun, you'd probably just look
From
on YouTube. Like, I know
Here, I'd recommend using All Mace's effect by sending grave, grabbing back the Turpin to hand. It's not going to be used for whole much, but it's good to have it. Using the effect of Isolde, the first effect won't happen, but the second effect is going to send us to grave Angelica's Angel Ring in order to special summon Recargetto. Recargetto is going to target and engrave Yugioh to special summon, and we're then going to go
look on eBay, see if the
Synchro 5 into Charles, not Angelica.
Just scale the prices and stuff like that.
And use the effect of Yugioh Engrave to equip the Charles. Second effect of the museum to special summon Yugioh. Synchro 9 into Charles. Equip Roland. Link 1 into Charles the Great. Equip Charles. Then, during end phase, Charles copying Charles equips Angel Ring.
There was a third one, I'm forgetting the name of.
And call it Oliver.
And a couple of like.
So this doesn't end in a whole lot, but it's better than nothing through Droll. This is still 3 interactions. First spell that resolves gets negated, a spell trap negates, and a pop, which is typically the normal summon. We can't do a whole lot through Droll, but we can do something, which is all that matters. So the most impactful hand trap against this deck is likely Shifter, because we cannot play through Shifter. We can barely make a Gear Freed, which is typically not enough, because decks that play Shifter play under it very well, which is typically Flu or even Pearly, which Gear Freed won't do a whole lot against that. Nib or Droll are probably the more effective hand traps, because let's be honest, we've got lines around Nib, but you're likely not going to be using it every time. You're likely going to be using it after you get nibbed game 1, and Droll, you're likely going to find yourself in a situation where you don't have connector and you suddenly see the little green winged beast drop out. So, while they are rather impactful, you can play through and around many of them. Shifter ends our day, and if Tyrlin gets exceptionally lucky and makes Swamp Dragon on our normal summon, we also just try. So, yeah, we can play through, depending on your opening grip, of course, between 2 to 3 interactions, Valor, Imperm, Ash, relatively easily, especially with the Diabell Star package, because that stuff is a huge boon. So, on the whole, fear Shifter and fear not opening connector.
Thank you.